Here is my face. Focus on me, please. Okay. Hey, friends. What's good? Welcome back to another episode of Anu Talk Show. Today, I really want to talk to you if you are a coach, you are a service provider, and you invested in courses, programs, and coaching before, and you never followed them through, right? If this is you, this video is for you. I'm going to unpack why this is happening, right? And why you are investing, why you are putting money into your business, but why you don't follow the strategy that your coach is actually giving to you. And more importantly, I want to help you how to break the cycle, right? How to break the cycle and create last longing change for your life and for your business, because this whole pattern, what is going on right now, it's not your fault. It is also not a motivation problem. It is also not a discipline problem. It's also not that you need more accountability partner. It's about your identity. It's about self-trust and leadership, and why you need to build these traits as a business owner in order to scale your business beyond 100K mark. So I'm excited. Comment down below, where are you actually coming from and what kind of business owner are you? So I work with women of color coaches and service providers, and so many women I work with have this exact story. So most of my clients, they invested in programs before they start to work with me. And their story looks like they get excited, right? You get excited, you're on a sales call, and you invest in a course, in a program, in a coaching, right? You feel the fire on the call, you see the hope, you see the possibility, right? And you invest. Then after a few days, weeks, or months, your life gets busy, the overwhelm hits, and there is a voice inside of you that is saying constantly, okay, I'm behind, I will never catch up, or maybe this wasn't for me after all, and you are quitting, right? Instead of leaning in, instead of actually listening what your current version wants to tell you, you pull back, right? You stop showing up. You stop finish the projects that you started. You stop doing the work that you need to do in order to make an extra 100K. As you can see, that's the cycle that you are stuck in. And here is what I want you to hear from me today. This is not a failure of willpower. This is not a lack in discipline, or a lack in your desire, or a lack that you can never achieve that, right? It's actually showing you an identity loop that has been running under the surface in your subconscious mind for a very long time. And if you are a woman of color coach, a woman of color business owner, you have this identity loop from your childhood. And if you didn't address that as becoming a successful business owner, it is still running your whole system. That's why you keep investing, but after months, you give up. After weeks and months, you are not following through the strategy. Because an identity loop is a belief that you have unconsciously created about who you are, right? So when you say, I don't follow through, you are telling your brain that this is who you are, that this is your true self. And your brain wants to prove that to you by repeating the same patterns. That's why you invested in your business, because a part of you believes that you can make an extra 100K. Part of you knows that you can actually be that successful business owner. But a big part of you is actually still believing that you don't follow through. And your brain, it's not trying to sabotage you. Your brain is here to keep you safe, right? By confirming what it really believes about you. So even if you consciously want to follow through, right? I mean, you are paying 5K for a coaching offer. You don't want to say like, hey, I don't want to follow through that after a few months. But you unconscious mind is not there where your conscious mind is, right? And that's why your unconscious mind is saying better to stick with what it is familiar, right? And that's why you are getting stuck right now. That's why you pull back. And I know, like, I want you to know that it's not because you are lazy, right? I know you are a high achieving woman of color coach, service provider. You are not broken. You are not disciplined or that you lack motivation. It's just that you are just unpracticed at being the version of you who follows through no matter what is coming, no matter what life is throwing at you, right? And this is a skill. Like learning a language or playing an instrument, what you need to do over and over and over again, you have to practice this skill every single day over time. So the good news is once you start practicing this identity, your brain will follow. And I am not saying that this is an easy road. I mean, you are breaking the cycle. This needs accountability. This needs the support, right? But once you start practicing this as a new skill, your habits will change, right? Because your habits changes, your belief system will change. Because your belief system changes, you will take different actions and your results will skyrocket. And this is how literally my clients are scaling their businesses to 100K because they are not hustling out of survival mode. They actually start to work on their identity. Their habits are changing. They show up differently. Their belief system is different. Because of that, they get faster results. So let's talk about the cost of this pattern, right? What is the real cost if you're not following through? If you're investing and if you don't, like, if you have the strategy but don't have the support in becoming this identity that you need to be in order to run this business and make an extra 100K, I want you to ask yourself, how much money have you invested in programs and tools and courses that didn't get finished, right? How many ideas have you had that never saw the light of the day? How many launches, how many offers, how many sales have you missed on the table because you backed out too soon? And even deeper than money, there's all money related, right? How much energy have you wasted doubting yourself? One day you believe in yourself, you believe in your offer, you believe in your skills, and the minute after you are self-sabotaging and you are doubting if it is even possible for you. And I know this because as a woman of color coach, I never thought it is possible for me because of my skin color. And I still hear lots of stories from other women of color coaches that they still have these thoughts and beliefs and stories within themselves that they don't feel being seen in the industry because of their skin color, right? So how much energy have you wasted doubting yourself? How much self-shame and guilt have you carried because you didn't finish that project? You didn't finish the launch because you didn't saw the results in the first 2 days. So the cost is not just financially. It's not just how much money you can make in order to support your family, how much money you can make in order to hire a team member. It's also going as deep as emotional and energetic too. And that is the cost of not changing, right? It's not only financial, it's also emotional because you are now sabotaging emotionally. How much energy is it costing you to give it actually to your kid or to give it to your partner? So imagine what would happen if you decided today that you say confidently out of your chest, I am the woman, I am the business owner who finishes what she starts. What would your business look like if you stopped ghosting your goals? So let's say you said, okay, my goal is to close 5 clients this month. In order to close those 5 months, I need to take action. And the action is to talk about my offer every single day on the story. Let's say that was your goal, right? What would your business look like if you followed that through? What would your confidence shift, or how would your confidence shift if you consistently showed up for yourself, where you stopped people pleasing your clients, you stopped fearing about what your family and friends will say. I actually tell most of my clients, if you are afraid that your family and friends will see your story, will see your business, block them. Simply block them. That is how you're gonna actually build a business, by not caring what family and friends are saying just because you are running a business, right? So how would your confidence shift if you consistently showed up for yourself? So this shift is not about perfectionism. It's not about you becoming the perfect one. It's literally about you becoming your true, authentic self, and about commitment. Because your confidence will elevate every time when you follow through the commitment that you did to yourself. So commitment to your future self who already has the results. What is your future self telling you, right? What does your future self look like? And how are you showing up today as the future self who already has the results? So I want you to start practicing the identity of following through, right? Instead of setting a big goal, right? You should start with setting micro commitments, okay? Because oftentimes we get overwhelmed, and that is so normal. I mean, if you have big projects, like, don't think it as like, oh my god, big project to follow through. You set small milestones, right? So don't overwhelm yourself with big goals. Start with tiny doable actions, like 10 minutes of focused work a day. And that is how and what I focus with my clients inside my program Leverage 20. Like, if they have this goal to close 5 clients, I'm not telling them, hey, start creating 30 days of content. We set tiny doable actions that they can do in 10 minutes of focused work. That's it. That is how you're gonna build momentum. That is how you're gonna build commitment, and where you feel like, oh my God, yes, this is the identity that I wanna be. And you start showing up like her today. Second one is, yes, accountability is important when you are creating the identity. A lot of coaches, they think when they find an accountability partner that everything is said and done, right? If you don't work on that identity, who has this commitment, who follows through, then the accountability partner even doesn't matter, right? So you need both. So find a community, find a coach or an accountability partner who holds you and who gives you the space to learn, to fail, to come back without any pressure, without any shame, without any guilt, right? And the last one is, I do this every single week with my clients, and we do that inside Leverage 20 as well, to celebrate small wins every single week. Most of the time, we think we should only celebrate like monetary goals. Oh my God, I hit 50K launch, or I closed another client, I closed another sales call, right? Those are great. And hitting financial goals is awesome. But when you show up for yourself, when you show up in changing your beliefs, in changing your identity, and showing up as your future self, even little wins are so important. They matter, and you should celebrate them. So this helps, like celebrating small wins helps you to rewire your brain to value progress, and you want to keep showing up as your future self. You want to be the coach who follows through the strategy because it is supported by your identity as well. So these small practices build you to follow through and helps you to build that muscle, right? One rep at a time. When you go to the gym and you want to build the muscles, you want to build the little biceps, you cannot do it overnight, baby boo-boo. Every rep, one rep at a time, is helping you to build that muscle, to build that biceps. So this is the ultimate form of leadership, right? This is what you are creating when you show up for yourself. Showing up for yourself, even when it's hard, when it's boring, when it's uncomfortable, is the next level leadership we need to see from you. And most people, they quit because they only show up when motivation is high or when someone else is watching. You know what? The first 100 or 150 live content, I did them without one single person watching it on Instagram and Facebook. I didn't care who was actually watching, or I didn't care if people are asking me questions. I knew I need to be different. I knew I need to share my message, and the best way is just showing up, even when no one is watching and clapping for me. So you want to be different. You want to be the woman who leads herself from the inside out. And that leadership doesn't just transform your business, it transforms your life, it transforms your partnership, it transforms the relationship you have with your kids, with your family, with your friends, right? Because you are now leading yourself differently. Because it starts with you, it starts with your identity. So inside my coaching container, Leverage 20, we do more than just teaching you sales and marketing. We build your relationship with yourself. Like, we heal the patterns of self-doubt and inconsistency. We help you to heal the visibility fears that keeps you unhidden. Because if you want to be successful and make an extra 100K, you need to become the best known in the industry. And you will learn how to become your own biggest supporter, where you don't have to rely on an accountability partner. This is what I want for you, that you build a business that runs because you show up as your future self. And that's why women who join don't just get the next client, the next 5K or 10K. They literally get self-trust, and they build that commitment they need for themselves to keep showing up. And that is honestly the foundation for lasting success, the biggest foundation for you to scale your business beyond 6 figures. So if you have been saying, I'm scared to invest again because I might not follow through, you don't need to be perfect. It is okay to have some days where you fall off, but it is more important to have someone who helps you to get back on your own feet again, because you need to be committed to becoming the business owner who finishes, right? So if you are ready to start practicing that identity and seeing what your future self is actually telling you what you want to do or who you are being, comment down below L20 and I will give you more information about my program Leverage 20 and how I can help you to become the CEO inside this program. So let's stop ghosting your goats and start becoming the business owner who gets the goats in life and business. Thank you so much for joining today, and I talk to you in the next video. Bye.